Resuming debate. And seeing that there's no other interveners, I'll recognize the honourable member for Windsor West for his right of reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to my colleagues and to yourself for being part of this. And Bill C-248 is really from the community. It's not my idea. It's something that we've been fighting for a long period of time. And as a member who's been here for 20+ years now, it's exciting to me when we can actually bring unity to the House and we can actually work on projects that can help define our country and our communities. And I have a list of people to thank, and some of them I'm going to have to abandon because I don't have enough time. But the first and foremost is I want to start by thanking the Wildland Leagues, Janet and Dave. They were part of this process from the beginning and helping give inspiration. And they understand the park systems, green spaces, connectivity, and have been very special and very positive going through this. And on top of that, Mr. Speaker, I want to also thank Chief Mary Duckworth as well, too. So Chief Duckworth was actually here in the House of Commons in this area, outside this chamber with me to push this issue before. For this to be made up as some type of thing of circumventing First Nations is unbelievable to hear that. And it's terribly disrespecting. Caldwell First Nations, I brought them down to this site as they were deciding about where they're setting up their reserve, and now it's actually closer to Point Pelee, ironically the place that they should have had historically. It's one of the most beautiful stories that we have of reconciliation taking place. And it's amazing. And Chief Duckworth and all the energy is going there, they're supporting this, and they explicitly ask to go to committee to tell their story of why they support this. This is part of their heritage, and they want to share it through the vision of a national urban park for all. It's a terrific story in itself because of the tragedy of what started, but also, too, is where they're going in the future. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank, and it's been interesting because Mayor Dilkins and City Council have been working on trying to get this land protected on the Ojibway shoreline for a number of different years. It was going to be bulldozed and cut down. Finally, during this process, after 7 years, I was told that they couldn't transfer it to Environment Canada. A few weeks ago, they finally transferred it to Environment Canada. And so we're happy for that. We're glad for that. They wanted the City of Windsor residents at one point to pay millions of dollars, then give it back to the federal government. How absurd is that? How absurd what the Liberals wanted to do with that. And so I'm thankful that they finally reversed their position on that. But the reason this bill is necessary is because every national park has its own legislation. Every national park is secured in that way. And so what we've done is we've put the pieces of property together, and there has been consultation constantly. Most importantly, consultation with the children, the youth, the advocates, the environmental people, the unions, companies, all in Windsor for several different years, Mr. Speaker. And that's why we actually have in the bill the defined geography to start with. And what I don't understand about the Liberals in this that are opposing this, why not send it to committee? Why is there a resentment from this Liberal government right now, or some members, maybe not all of them, to actually send this to committee to bring up concerns? The Conservatives had some concerns about private property being involved. We didn't include that. The Bloc, we want to make sure this is a special thing because they have some very legitimate questions about the province, and those things have been taken care of as well. And the province right now is going through election, but they have been talking and supporting this in local member provincial parliament. Lisa Gretzi's in favor of it, and of course the City of Windsor. So we're looking at now getting this to committee to define those areas and have a chance to speak, to showcase why this is so important. And I don't understand. I've been here for a while. I've been trying to work, especially when they were sent back to Parliament, in a constructive way. And that's why I chose this bill, is because it should survive the test of metal to get to committee at least. How could you want to shut down this beautiful process that has been grassroots every single step along the way without even allowing people from Windsor and Essex to have their voice? And Mr. Speaker, I'll conclude with this. There have been so many people, some even passed away during this process. It is going to be right next to the Gordie Howe Bridge. I had my first public meeting for New Border Crossing back in 1998 as a city councillor at Marlborough Public School. We're finally getting it built. We don't need another 20 years to do the obvious. This should be done. It's grassroots, and most importantly, it defines us on the doorstep of America. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Well, thank everyone for their interventions. The question is as follows. Monsieur Masse, appuyé par Madame.
Mr. Masse, seconded by Ms. Matheson, moves that Bill C-248, an act to amend the Canada National Parks Act, Ojibway National Urban Park of Canada, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Environment and Sustainable Development.
Recognized party, President of the House, wishes to request a recorded division, or the motion be adopted on division. I would ask them to rise and indicate it to the chair. I see the Honourable Deputy House Leader.
I request a recorded division. Thank you.
There we go here. So pursuant to order made on Thursday, November 25th, 2021, the division stands deferred until Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, at the expiry of the time provided for oral questions.